Morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We're on day 236 of that journey. Today's message is expect the best. Expect the best. Well, the best isn't always what you think it should be, right? In this dualistic world, we came here to learn specific lessons meant just for our personal growth, of our personal wave of the whole ocean. Just what we needed to learn, just what we needed to learn to grow. And it doesn't seem like that. It seems like the world is kicking us right in the nuts. It sure does, But in that, you're here to glean the lesson of all of it. And the lesson that you glean from it is a new power that you possess. Actually, one that you've always possessed, but you've just revealed it to yourself through the human journey, through this human incarnation and the physical life. And it's just, everything can seem so serious if you're coming from your light self and you see it for what it is, as a school of learning and growth. And you have a mission to do just that as a soul. And your mission is to serve so that you can see better. You can see right through so much of the forest that we just get caught up in the trees, right? So it is a growth journey. It is a journey from darkness back to light. We start in this world and brand new and fresh right out of the womb. And it is a journey walking back home. And you're picking up a lot of stuff along the way, a lot of good stuff and a lot of crappy stuff. And it is the crappy stuff that we learn from most, isn't it? Well, that's it. That's where our lessons really come from, because, we're using poor judgment and we got to learn the lesson. But so many people fail to learn the lesson, and you can get stuck in that cycle, and you can get stuck in that wheel, that matrix wheel of low level, low energy, low frequency living, because that's all you can hear. It's all you can pick up on, because you're not using your true resonator and receiver here, your transmitter and receiver. It's not coming from here. It's coming just from the cobbled together ego self in a fear-driven world. Man, that is no compass to follow. That is no compass to follow. Yeah, there's some earthly wisdom in there, but if that's what you're relying on, then, and you don't have your sixth sense going, which we all have that sixth sense. It is the sensitivity to pick up on the higher frequencies. We all have that capability, because we are all that. We are all really that antenna to the light. And that antenna gets clouded over in lower frequency thought, and getting caught in thinking that that's who we are, just this body stumbling around with just what we've learned and what people taught us, and maybe from shitty role models, maybe from no role models at all, just picking yourself up and going with the best you got, but then you find the light within. Somebody helps you to find that light within, and you take that route. That's the walk home. That's the best walk home for yourself and for everybody around you. And it is a self-improvement journey. It's a self-awareness journey. And it isn't easy at first, but it gets easier as you start to accept more and more that you're way more than you thought you were. It gets easier because you go, wait a minute. I was dancing around in those thoughts for years. For years, I wasted years in that kind of thinking. Well, that's all of us. That's all of us. When you wake up is when you wake up. So no harm, no foul. When you wake up, it is a blessing, and it'll seem like a curse. Awakening is no fun, because you leave behind all of the preconceived notions that you held on as truth, absolute truth, and then truth hits you in the face and your ego doesn't want to accept it, does not want to accept that truth, but it's plain to see. So then you're like, holy crap, oh my God, so much of what I thought was just a bunch of lies. Yeah, that's what we're facing right now. We're facing the truth. Face everything and rise. Fear has not a choice or a stand or a chance. Fear should just mean face everything and rise. And we're facing everything right now. And we're going to have to face ourselves in that mirror of truth. And where do we stand in that mirror of truth? It's not there to punish. It's there to clean up your own mirror. It's there to just go, all right, well, this makes a lot more sense. And I love this a lot more because it's unity thinking. It's consciousness. It's becoming conscious and going, oh man, thank God. Thank God. I hated being, my ego loved being adversarial with the neighbors. Loved it. Loved being adversarial with a lot of people because we're just living from separation and not knowing, not remembering. And the neighbor can feel the same way about you in that bullshit static of the ego, right? So we're coming into the remembrance zone, which is just coming back to our own light, the truth of it all, and moving together in a unified fashion above all politics, above all religion that can separate as well. This religion is true, this religion is untrue, this and that and the other thing, and we can hate each other from that. Well, then what good is it? What good is that religion? What good is it if it's not about love and unity? And, man, well, we got to kill them because they don't believe in this one or that one. What sense does that make? Not in love. That makes no sense in love. Love will have nothing to do with that. Love and unity are one and the same. Love is remembrance that above all of this storied, separated nonsense, there is oneness, the law of one, the law of consciousness. God is consciousness, total awareness of truth. And this has just been a force-fed play. Force-fed. This is what you need to believe. And these people are trying to get you. And these people are trying to get you. They're coming for you. And they make it true. And they fool a lot of people into doing exactly that. Right? Taught from birth in many cases. Hatred taught from birth. Separation taught from birth. Yuck. Yuckville. Where's the love, baby? Where's the love? I want to know what your talents are. So maybe it's something that I like. Maybe we connect on that level. You got to find where the connection is. You look for the connection. It's always heart-centered. It's always heart-centered. What do we have in common? You have kids, I have kids. You like this, I like that, and we meet in common ground. We're not going to agree on everything, but you can stay out of that too. You can just focus in on that when you guys are together, whatever that is. Focus in on that time that is most meaningful, the best stuff. And so expecting the best is really expecting the best from yourself. And then you can expect the best from the outside world, even if that outside world in the moment is not showing you its best in that mirror. You're just bringing your best because that's where you want to live. That's where you want to stay. Okay? That's where your seeds that you're sowing are the best. You know it because you feel it. It's like, yeah, I feel like throwing some good seeds out today because I got a great night's sleep. I walk, I keep myself in shape, my mind right. I'm working on my body. I'm working on my mind. I'm feeding it good stuff every day. Feeding it from where? What am I feeding it from? I'm feeding it from my soul, for my soul. So you look for the things in life, you, like I say, you stop and smell those roses. You actually are present in your life, and you actually are become the creator from the prisoner of your own ego. You become the creator, the free creator. Say, what do I really want? The hourglass has always got sand going through it. What do I really want? Okay, how do I want to really feel? Is what and how can I feel that most often? All right. So change is good. Change is good. Soulful change. Change for your soul, for your truth, for how you should be walking now, and a lot of things you have to let go of. Any kind of bogusness or disrespect, constant, blither blather of egos everywhere. Yeah, well, we want to create the world we want to live in, we got to start with our own, and we got to boundarify what doesn't jibe with that, and you'll feel better. You've created a new nest for yourself, and on purpose, with intention. It can sound selfish, but when are you going to give that life that you've always dreamed of to yourself if you're not going to start it day by day, one step at a time, moving in that direction, one paint stroke? It's not all going to get done in one day. But if you take that 1 degree change, saying this is a new boundary that I've set, I'm going to be doing these things for myself and for the joy of it, and prosperity from the joy of it is always there. The prosperity from doing something that you love is just there in doing it, in being in that space. Joy lives because you go, oh, I'm doing that thing. I'm finally doing that thing that I dreamed about. And I started doing it in the littlest of ways. And I just grew it like a little plant into this giant, beautiful tree of life. We have that power. We are that power. Okay? We water it from our own divinity. And if it's a divine inspiration, it's already being watered by God. So you just have to do your work. Steadfast and true. Straight is the gate and narrow is the way. That's your dream. Every day, work in that favor. Okay? Prosperity lives in where your joy is found. All right? And if you never give yourself your joy because you're just always doing what everybody else thinks you should do, well, then you're only living from what other people think you should do rather than your heart and what your heart has already implanted in there for the things that God gave you, the gifts that God has already bestowed upon you. So this is expecting the best is an absolute must in your life. If you're not already doing this, today is the big day for change for you. Positive expectation sends out a completely different energy and vibration and attracts different things, people, and opportunities that to you than always expecting either average or more than often than the worst. Always expecting the worst. So if you're a person who always expects the worst and dwells in the worst case scenarios that your ego constantly spins, you're in the low vibrational pattern and you are attracting negativity, low energy circumstances, and low energy people into your experience. It's how you're emanating. Believe me, I know. I buzz with anxiety and fear so much of my life that I lowered myself and I abandoned myself, thinking everybody else had the answers other than me. I understand that. I understand that self-abandonment. And not that I didn't bring my talents to the table, but I weakened them. And, that is something that you don't want to do. You want to dim your own shine. So don't dim your own shine and don't let others dim your shine. You came here to shine. And make sure you're doing that because that shine is just going to continue to help you grow. That's putting the sun back on yourself. You're giving from a sunny place. So the sun will return. Even if the clouds come over and go, no, that sun is never coming back. You already know you threw seeds out there, sunny seeds. Those sunny seeds, God goes, boop, I saw it. Boop, I saw it. Boop, I saw it. Those seeds will grow. And what comes from that is just going to return to your doorstep in different beautiful ways that you just unexpected, beautiful ways and expected beautiful ways. But you can expect beauty and you look for it. And it's when you start looking for beauty that you're not looking for all the worst case scenarios. So you've shifted yourself just in that mindset of expecting the best, but making sure you're serving the best. So it backs up the feeling to expect the best. You have to be your best to expect the best. You can't be your worst and expect the best. It's two different energies. It's not how energy works. Okay? So tuning into the highest energy you have is the daily silence, the listening, the learning from within. What is your heart really saying to you? I recently was talking to a friend who said, Mart, my father was, somebody who treated me really poorly, talked me down, and told me I was an idiot, told me I was, and I realized though that that's what his father did to him. And while I could see that, it still hurt and it's still in here and it's still guiding me in ways that I now see that I did not see before, that I've learned to look at that I didn't want to look at. But when I looked at it and I said, those words are not true. And if I keep making them true, I will live my father's life. I will live my grandfather's life. But I want to be the breaker of that chain. I want to be the one that listens to what God thinks of me, not what my father thought of me because of what his father thought of him. And it was really just low self-esteem, and your own self-doubt that you project onto other people, and you can project it on your own family. It's awful, but we've all experienced it in different ways. With God in the 70s, it was just like Archie Bunkertown. There was no loving filter unless you were really blessed and had loving filters. So you have to be your own. You have to be your own love, and you have to give that to yourself in order to break the chains of old paradigms and old beliefs and old habits of thinking that were implanted in you, and you just continue to believe to this day. Don't pass those on to your kids. Tell your kids they got everything it takes. It's already in them. And whatever it is that they're good at, to flourish in that. And that may take them to something even bigger. But you encourage instead of criticize. And you have to reverse your own engines with that same thing for yourself. That's your own medicine, is to reverse those engines that maybe a parent told you about yourself, that was called you this or called you that, and told you were this or told you were that. And it's like, Jesus, that's what I got to believe about myself. And people just do. It's the saddest thing I've ever seen. So I know what it's like to not believe in yourself. I know what it's like. But I also know what it's like now to repay yourself for that disbelief. You repay yourself with your own light, your own love. You repay your own betrayal to yourself by giving yourself that love. Okay? God's just saying, listen, I'm here. I'm as solid as anything. Come on to me anytime. I'm always here. It's you that's thinking that about yourself. I would never say that about you, and I'm never going to. You're less than. Any voice inside of you that's telling you you're less than is somebody else's voice inside you that may have told you that, but it is not God's voice. God's the ultimate cheerleader. God's the ultimate can do, giddy up. Come on, baby. I got you. I created you for greatness. Get up and see it in yourself and rock and roll. Boom. Boom shakalaka. That's God. Why would you be afraid of that? Because they told you to be afraid. Fear God. Fear God. My God, what are you kidding me? Fear not being with God. Fear not being with God. Fear being in your ego forever. That's the fear. The fear of fear itself. It's like, Jesus Louise. No. N capital O. You are the light. You are the light within. And rule yourself from that place. And you will rise in every area of your life. Serve it up. And it's just seeds of truth. Seeds of truth. Okay? Geez, I don't know how much we read of this already. I'm just yapping away. So if you're a person who always expects the worst and dwells on the worst case scenarios, your ego constantly spins. You're in the low vibrational pattern, and you're attracting negativity. Always recognize your own patterns and say, how do I break this pattern? You got to start reversing the ship and loving yourself. It's loving yourself back up into your own true frequency, your own truth of who you've always been in all of eternity, your own forever self, right? You're leaving the ego, you're understanding it, and you're saying, okay, well, if you're going to be here for the rest of the ride, you're going to do what my soul says, so let's go. And you know what? It's beautiful. So why would you steer away from it? As I always say, now that you know, you can really grow. You can really grow. You're not afraid of what other people think. You're just doing it from a stance of, this is what's coming through me right now, and this feels good, so I'm going to go with it. And maybe it brings something to me. Maybe it brings nothing but the joy of just doing it itself. That's still the best. It's still the best. I can expect the best if I'm pulling out of my heart what's in here. I can expect the best because it's going to feel the best doing it, being in it, having it around, and relationally bringing more people that are in that same group or that same vibe into your world and sharing that beautiful stuff. It's awesome. That's the best stuff of life. All right. So making a daily habit of expecting the best automatically puts your mind in a positive state. So you know how you do that, expect the best. Yeah, well, you know what happened after I expected the best? The worst. How How'd you deal with it? Did you deal with it with the best? Well, maybe that's the best that could have happened that day, but it would have been the worst if you didn't deal with it with your best. So, this is human journey. So it's not all unicorns and rainbows, as my buddies tell me. But I tell them it's not all shit either, unless you can create a lot of your own shit. You can create a lot of it yourself just by expecting the shit and then just go bracing for the brunt of it instead of no, I got to bring my light to this and let's make this a mountain down into a molehill as fast as possible. Bring your light to it, your lightsaber, slash it down like Darth Vader. All right. So when I say good stuff, I mean better relationships and more opportunities to do different, more exciting things. You'll open up and become more creative. And in this positive state, a higher quality of people will begin to enter your circle, and you're off to the new higher life experience, all having started with your new habit of expecting the best. Let me tell you something. You have to make friends with the unknown. Woo! Ego doesn't like that. Ego likes to be sure of whatever's going to happen, wants to know right now that it's going to be okay. Well, your soul already knows it's going to be okay no matter what, because this is a temporary human journey, and the worst possible thing that can happen is we go home to paradise. So get it right while you're here in this school. Get it right while you're here in this school. You may have been like the super valedictorian and this and that and the other thing, and you can have gone to the highest education of mankind and still not know this stuff, is what I found. Still not know yourself. You're thinking of yourself just as your identity of that higher learned self. I know what the world really is like because I've been through all of the Ivy League schools. And then I go, yeah, okay. But how do you treat your kids? How's your relationship with your wife and your folks and all that other stuff? Usually there's a shit show going on because an ego has been built around all of that stuff. When we're moving into a heart-centered world, so you better have your right brain all hooked up. It's going to be a much more creative space and much more fun in knowing that we can end the bullshit between each other and just live in the light of who we are and the remembrance of who we are. And that's for me. That's why I'm expecting the best, and I'm already doing my best to create it in my own world. So, and that's just my pebble in the ocean, just creating that one ripple that I can create. That's it. That's the best we can do while we're here. Create our own great ripple, and that's what you should do every day. Get up and say, "Well, I'm going to expect the best." You know why? Because I'm going to create a great ripple on purpose, intentionally today. No matter what comes, I'm going to try and throw a stone of a beautiful seed into the ocean that can ripple out and then grow in some great way. That God is going to take that seed and do something with it because you intended it from your heart. You really intended it from your heart. It came from that place. So it's got God's speed in that seed. So never settle for less than you deserve. Okay? We do it all the time. We settle just because we haven't gotten to that place in ourselves where we love ourselves. So we may take less than we deserve. Better to be growing as a beautiful plant on your own than to be surrounded by weeds and covering over the sun, right? These are decisions that we're all making now. And it's more about coming into alignment than anything else. It's coming back into alignment. This is who we are. We really are. I'm living from this space, and I'm walking home in this space because to me, I know it's true. So never settle for less than you deserve. You are a powerful creator in either direction, positive or negative. Which way do you want to create? You are the wand. You are the positive and the negative, and we are the choice maker. We have the will, we have the power, we've been given free will to wave that wand in either direction every day. But when we wave it on purpose, with beautiful intention, coming from the highest space within us, well, then we got a great wand. You got a great wand. Easy, Troy, friends. So today, the CTA, today begins your new favorite habit, expecting the best. this, like all other practices, will take time. If you have to fake it until you make it, well, it's not faking it if you're giving it from your heart. It is just, it could look like it to your ego because you've lived from your ego so long, you could feel like you're faking it because you're reclaiming your power, your space. But as you get going in it, it's just like, you're remembering, oh my God, this is my old car from heaven. I'm remembering it. I'm not this old gas guzzling clunker from here on earth. So I can ride a lot smoother in that knowing. Okay. So it's a knowing that raises your frequency because you're doing thoughts, words, and deeds from that higher space. It's a habit that reaps huge rewards in so many levels, on so many levels, because God is going, man, I'm supercharging those seeds and you are spreading them like wildfire. So giddy up and keep going and keep going. That's your job. That's your job. Plant good seeds in your family, plant good seeds with your friends, your relationships. But most importantly, know where the good seeds come from and be a good Johnny Appleseed of them. All right, guys, much love and light, and we shall see you tomorrow.